Yeah, it was gutsy performance by our players. Had a great week of practice, elevated focus, elevated attention to detail. Yeah, I just challenged them in there. Yeah. Last week's practice wasn't any harder, wasn't any more challenging than what we've been. But the focus, the attention to detail, the process that we came into the game was different. And I hope they remember what that felt like. It wasn't that we had to put forth this much extra effort because it was Boise. We just did what we're supposed to do and what it's supposed to look like. And again, plenty of things we got to fix, we got to clean up. But it's always a lot much more enjoyable to do that after a win than it is a loss.
Talk to me about the defensive performance as well.
Well, they just continue to get better. Coach Benedetto, his staff, those players buying into what we're doing. Created pressure on the quarterback, turnovers. It was a complimentary football game. Yeah, you look at our coverage teams, field goal block team, defense, offense had moments of getting first downs, and that was our big emphasis to them all week. Get the next first down. Don't worry about scoring. Get first downs. And in 34 minutes of time of physicality today or time of possession, that's winning football.
Able to get the run game back on track.
Yeah.
How did you like to see that?
Well, it was good. It's an emphasis. And, again, we all want to see big scores and touchdowns and sexy football, but we also want to see wins too. And we needed one. We had played hard. We were frustrated about kind of where we were. We weren't playing to our capability, and this was a taste of it. But now the standard's been set, and now there's no compromise.
What does it feel kind of getting your first marquee win as the Bulldogs head coach?
I'm super excited and excited for the young men in the locker room, excited for our staff because I think we have a tremendous one. Our administration, I got a text message from our president, and it tells me that people are appreciative of how we're going about our business. Maybe it isn't always wins, but we're making moves, we're making progress. I know it's sometimes slower than what we want to see, but there's progress being made every day.
Coach, how much did the defensive stops, their penalties, some of that allow you just to settle in? It seemed like you weren't playing from behind for the first time.
Of course. I mean, we had some penalties too. I mean, it was probably not the cleanest game out there. Some people would say that's probably, par for the course for a rivalry game like that. But all we can worry about is us, right? We just got to make sure that we continue to do good things. Like I said, we got the run game going when we needed to. We were opportunistic. We got the ball. We had good field position. They drove. We had some big fourth down stops at times. Just, again, super excited about where we're going, but not done, getting better.
There weren't very many passing yards today. Can you just speak on the rest of the team and how you were able to make that happen?
There weren't very many yards in the game in general, right? I mean, I think they had probably less than 200, and so it is what it is. We completed a few passes when we needed to, but we were able to get some first downs. We just tried to stay stubborn in the run game, and we felt like we had a really good idea of what they were doing defensively pre-snap. And so, Carson had his plate full today with a lot of run checks at the line of scrimmage. And so, he had to grow up a little bit today in a hard place to win. And Spencer and their staff do a tremendous job here.
What can you say about your first run of this rivalry and to be able to hold the milk can at the
It was awesome. To see the excitement, our players knowing that they're going to get to put their names on that's valuable. That doesn't ever leave. And that's something that they can take home. I challenge guys like Roland Fullwood and Julian Palendo, some of our sixth-year guys. Today you're going to start creating your legacy today, right? And how we handled this moment here. And the moment wasn't too big. Our kids just kept swinging all day, and I loved it.
How much can you foresee this boosting you to the final stretch of the season?
Wins always boost, right? We can't get full of ourselves. We can't get comfortable. But, I challenge. Last week's practice wasn't any less than any other week. But the space between the ears had greater attention to detail, greater focus. And remember how it felt at the end compared to a week ago when we walked off like, man, we let someone off the hook. We can't let people off the hook. We got to make them beat us. And that's hard to do in college football, beat people.
How did you as the head coach keep the team in that mindset given the last few results?
I think I just tried to keep talking about what was important that day. We talked about the milk can. We had it everywhere we were, weight room, locker room, meetings, practice. There was a constant reminder. We tried to identify all the rabbit holes that are out here, the blue turf, the crowd, the shadows. None of that was going to be an excuse because we identified it early in the week and it worked out. I mean, they had the sun in their eyes the last of the fourth quarter, and so it was perfect. Everything kind of operated the way we wanted it to as the game went on.
Coach, now bowl eligible. You talked about.
I haven't even thought about that yet. So
you talked about earlier in the week, though, how important it is just for development.
it is. We have, if you look at our roster right now, we have 20-some seniors. We have about 8 juniors, and everyone else is a sophomore, younger. And so sign me up for 3 more weeks with these guys. You know, I love being around them, but those 3 weeks are going to be an opportunity for the young guys to, accelerate the learning into spring, for our seniors to go out the way they're supposed to, just continue to win games and keep, swinging every day and go 1-0 every week, and we'll see where we're at.